What is going on, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you with another video. Today we are live with my good friend Tom Cormier, and today's title is Easily Sourcing Hot Items for eBay Dropshipping with Zik Analytics. And we're going to be talking with Tom about how to easily source hot selling items to dropship on eBay. We're going to be covering how Tom got started drop shipping on eBay. And what's really cool is he actually went to school to become an engineer.
Yeah.
And now he is a full-time drop shipper, which is really cool. So excited to have you here. How you doing, brother? Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, so it's kind of surreal being on this channel at the moment. My channel is not as big, but I'm trying to grow it up. So I mean, it's just great to be here, and it's awesome to be a part of this.
Yeah, super pumped up, man. I've heard a lot of great things about you, and I think you had reached out to me, I don't know, a month ago or a couple weeks ago, and we've been chatting, trying to get together.
Yeah.
Because you've actually been having some pretty awesome results drop shipping. So why don't you kind of tell people maybe your story, how you got started drop shipping, and some of the results that you're getting, and so on and so forth.
All right, yeah, I can do that. So basically, I'm 25 years old. I went to school for engineering, like you said, and I chemical engineering, actually. I went to school in Worcester, Mass, so not too far away from where you are. And I loved the whole school side of things. I like the whole learning, and that's kind of what I feel like I really enjoy. And then when I got into the real world, working 40 hours a week, I was like, wow, this is not as fun. Like I'm gonna have to do this for literally 40 years, and then get my 401k, retire, and that's that. And I was like, that's just not what I think is gonna happen. So on the side, behind the scenes, I started buying and selling electronics. So kind of stuff that you do. I would post ads on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace, and I would buy electronics, sell them, mainly video games at first. And I got into cell phones, and there was some courses and stuff I bought on that. I learned that, and I did pretty well. But the thing about that was that it takes time after work, and you need to be like obligated to somebody else's time when you're buying cell phones and buying electronics. Like, oh, somebody flakes on you, they don't show up, they rob you, that could possibly happen. maybe not. Just things like that. So it's a lot. It's a pain to deal with. So I realized that I needed to find things that I could do easily outside of work or at work, because I didn't work very much while I was at work. So I actually did start drop shipping at work, and my boss is actually very supportive in it. I can't thank her more for that.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing right now? You working on the chemical structure? No, I'm just, drop shipping some stuff on eBay right now.
No, so I would only have to do stuff in the lab like 3 hours a day. And besides that, I was just sitting at my desk waiting for things to do. So I literally told her, I'm like, I'm going to be working on this. I hope you don't mind. And she was very supportive of it. So thank you, Sue. And
shout out to Sue.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I got to a point where I found drop shipping. I got, I got started. I saw some decent results at the beginning. I had no idea what I was doing, even with courses and videos out there and stuff. I had no idea what I was doing, but I started in Q4. So that was kind of where you see, I guess if you're like working out, you see the beginner gains when you're working out, you see your first muscles come in. It's the same thing if you start drop shipping in Q4. So that's what I did. And by December, I was doing like $17,000 in sales, maybe $20,000 in sales for the month. And these are lower profits, guys. So lower profits, it's going to be about like 10% max. I mean, you can get higher, but not with the models that I utilize. And I just quit my job. I was like, I've saved up. Yeah. I was like, I saved up enough money here. I could go, 6 months, a year without starving is basically what I was, my mentality behind it was. I was like, all right, well, I got 6 months to a year to make it work. And worst comes to worst, I have to go get another job, like being an engineer. So that's kind of what I did. So I saw some quick success with it. And now, I mean, I've scaled. When January came around, it was basically that I was like, oh, damn, like Q4 is over. Sales are not as good as they were. So it kind of it was a large learning curve. I spent a lot of time learning everything. And by now, I mean, last month I hit 140,000 in sales. September, I hit 200,000 in sales. This month is a little bit slower at the beginning, but I'm working on ways to try to raise that back up. So, I mean, that's where I'm at the moment.
Wow, that is phenomenal, right? That is really, really phenomenal. And you've been doing this for how long now?
So it's been over a year now. I do know that because I bought the year-long subscription to Zik Analytics, I guess, in like September, and I went away for the weekend. And my virtual assistant was like, "Tom, like I can't get into Zik. It's broken. Like Zik's broken. I don't know what's happening." I was like, "Oh no, I guess we just ran out of our year-long subscription." It's interesting.
Cool, man. Very, very cool. So that's a little bit about Tom and how he got started and some of his results. Let's talk about, what exactly is eBay drop shipping? Because a lot of people who are watching on the Raiken Profit YouTube channel are accustomed to buying and selling, but it's more or less from thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, buying physical items undervalued, and then reselling them, shipping them out firsthand, so on and so forth. So what exactly is eBay drop shipping in terms of your model? How do you do things? What is it? And maybe talk about some of the benefits.
Okay, yeah, I wrote down some benefits too, so I didn't forget about it. Basically, so eBay drop shipping, there's many ways to drop ship. So you can do, and Tanya, it's Zik with ZIK. So eBay drop shipping, there's many ways. You can go to a wholesaler and you can, talk to them and get like allowed to drop ship their items, stuff like that. I haven't utilized or done any of that yet. I know my business partner does, and he does very well with that as well. But the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, lowest barrier to entry of basically, I'd say any business where you don't really need that much money or any money really to get started up is just retail arbitrage, they call it. So you're going to be taking items from other sources, mainly Amazon is what I use. So I take Amazon items, I put them onto eBay. It does sound like it's a big pain because I'll tell you right now, I have like 16,000 items on my eBay store, but there's softwares out there that make it all extremely easy to do. So the main thing is you list these items up. You do not have to buy these items until somebody buys it from you. So you don't need, so you can have 16 or 100,000 items on your store, and you don't have to buy anything until someone goes, "Hey, that item looks good. Let me buy it." So they buy it from you. You go on to Amazon or whatever your source is. A lot of people use Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot as like the big three. And then there's tons out there that you can use, but the big three are Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, mainly because their return policies and how fast they can ship out their item. You put their name in and you just send it straight to their house from that supplier. So, I mean, a lot of people do say, "Hey, aren't people going to realize that it's coming in an Amazon box?" And I did customer service on my own stores for about 6 months probably, and I'd say 1 out of every like 1,000 people complain, just pretty mind blowing actually. But I mean, I'm not complaining about it. So then Walmart items come in a Walmart box sometimes with literally sometimes an invoice in there, and people don't even realize. So, I mean, it's interesting how the business model works. But the benefits I would say is that there's extremely low startup costs. Some of the ways that like the very lowest costs you can get, I'd say less than $100 a month to start this. And it's very easily automatable in the future. So once you learn everything, the ins and outs, and you really know what you're doing, then you can easily automate it with some of these programs out there where they literally list for you, they'll source for you, list for you, and purchase your items on Amazon for you.
Wow.
They'll automatically order your items for you. And some of them have automatic returns and stuff like that, which I haven't got into, but that's just wild. Like how automated it can get.
That is unbelievable. That's super cool right there. So people were asking about like what happens if it goes out of stock, so on and so forth. And that's what these different programs do, whether it's DSM Tool or Zik Analytics. There's a bunch of different ones out there. I know that you were saying before the show that you actually liked Zik much more than DSM Tool. I've never used Zik, but yeah, it controls your limits, out of stock, all the different things, right? Maybe you want to touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so basically what Zik actually does not do what DSM Tool does. Zik does the sourcing, and it's really how to source items is what Zik does. But I use programs called, you're talking about DSM Tool. I use Web Seller Guru for all my items that aren't Amazon. And all my Amazon items, I use this program called Sale Freaks. And so basically what these programs do is they'll literally every hour check all of your items. So that's why they cost money based on how many items you have, because they're running, literally a script through all of your items and checking, is it in stock? Has it changed price? Has anything changed? Like basically it checks for everything. So if it raises 50 cents it'll raise it 50 cents on your eBay. It lowers 50 cents, it'll lower it 50 cents on your eBay. If it goes out of stock, it puts it out of stock on your eBay. Yes, there is some potential overlap where something could go wrong, but there's a lot of ways to mitigate that on the back end afterwards. So that's basically what these programs do.
Very cool. Thanks, Tom. Now, there's a lot of people watching who their lives would absolutely change if they could figure out a way to passively make an extra $500 or $1,000 profit per month. Let's talk about that before we dive into, answering some more questions and screen sharing exactly how to do this, because we're going to show you guys firsthand. But for someone who wanted to make an extra $500 or $1,000 profit, again, like we were saying before the show, like Gary Vee says, you get what you put in. If you're going to just treat this like a hobby and only spend an hour every couple of days, your results are going to, correlate. But let's kind of talk about that. Someone who wanted to make an extra 500 or $1,000 over the next 90 or 180 days, is that possible? What does that look like in terms of time they would have to put in? Can anybody do this? And, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I like the way that you put it in a time frame of like 90 to 180 days, because a lot of people will look at this and be like, hey, I didn't see any results in the first month, I'm done, or something like that. And with any business model or anything in life, like you said, you get what you put into it. And literally, if you're not willing to work towards something like this, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. You're in it for the get rich quick scheme, or you're in it just because you think that there's going to be easy, fast money. And yes, you could list something up there and possibly make easy, fast money on it. You could get lucky, but over time, you're going to want to make it a very consistent, scalable business model. So I would say that if you are going to put in the hours, it's going to take a little bit at first of how to learn how to just do everything in the beginning. So you're going to be spending time just like on these programs going like, what is going on? How does this work? I've been there. Yeah. When I switch to new programs all the time, or I experiment with new programs, I was doing it yesterday. I'm like, I feel like a noob on this program just because I've never used it. Even though I know what it should be doing, I don't know how to get it to do that. So, then you go on their YouTube. A lot of those programs have their own dedicated YouTube channels. You check that out. You watch the videos, you learn it. So I'd say it takes a decent amount of hours up front just to learn everything. But once you get this up and running, and you maybe have a virtual assistant or two, running your business and working on the inside of your business, like I put maybe in my actual eBay business, when everything's going well, I put maybe an hour to 2 hours in a day max on it. But what are
you doing during those 1 to 2 hours as like a 30,000 foot overview?
I'm basically just looking at what's going on, if there was any issues, what these issues were, and more just looking at how to scale it and how to run this business more efficiently. I'm all about efficiency, cutting out the things that take too much time away from my business that don't bring in any revenue really. So things like that could just be, hey, I don't want to do international shipping anymore. That takes too much time. There's too many issues with it. But when you're first getting started, you can make it as automated or not as automated as you want. There's programs that will automate it for you, and then there's other programs that won't get it as automated. But then you can have assistants to work for you. If you want somebody to work for you, you're going to pay them very little money. But I've seen some people that want to do it all on their own. I saw a guy do maybe about 35, 40,000 in sales a month on his own, doing everything by himself with the cheapest possible programs out there. So he was probably pulling in $2,500, possibly $3,000, because he was doing everything so lean and so efficiently. But I'm kind of the guy that's like, I'm going to throw more manpower at it, get it to work on its own, and then worry about other things. So
cool. Very cool. We got a bunch of questions coming in. Maybe we'll answer a couple questions and dive in. I don't know if you want to get your screen share ready, and
yeah, everything's ready for my screen share at the moment. So I'm good.
A bunch of people said, well, we got Tara saying, I've searched for this information forever. Thank you. So looks like Tara's pretty grateful for this information. Alicia's asking, is there certain items you should start with when doing drop shipping?
So basically that is what I'm going to show you with my model, and what I'm going to show you today is exactly what you're going to have to do, or how to find good selling items. So basically what I try to teach is that you have to sell what sells. You're not going to sell things that like you think makes sense to sell, because the market's not always what you think. I remember I had a guy that I was coaching, and he was like, Tom, like I'm trying to drop ship kitty litter. I'm like, why? And he's like, because it's really heavy. It's really heavy, and people might not want to get it at the grocery store. I was like, well, is it selling? And he's like, no, not at all. I just took it off Walmart. I was like, it's probably not going to sell. Like it could possibly sell, but just the fact that you think that people won't buy kitty litter because it's heavy, that's not justifying the fact that it's going to sell or not. Things like that.
Awesome. Great distinction. Tanya's asking a couple questions about niche items. We're going to probably get into that
Yeah.
when we do this video.
So I would like to say that I do not do anything niche related. I would say niche related is more for if you're going to drop ship from a wholesaler and maybe try to make a store that's strictly like wholesale related niche items. But when you're just sourcing from Amazon or Walmart or Home Depot or whatever, it's whatever sells is what you're selling basically.
What do you typically pay for your VAs?
So it really actually doesn't depend. I was going to say it depends, but it really doesn't. So my customer service VA, she's on point and I never have to talk to just about any customers. So I love that. I pay her what I consider a pretty penny of $4 an hour, and she works maybe 30 hours every 10 days, 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's probably around $350 to $400 a month for her. But my other virtual assistants, I pay maybe around anywhere between $240 to $300 a month.
Okay. Are
So
you getting them off of what's that website? It's not Upwork, the other one, the Filipino.
yeah, onlinejobs.ph. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got the majority of them through there, but also just through referrals. Once you have one good virtual assistant, just ask them, hey, do you have any friends that want to do this? Or do you have any family members that want to do this? Because there's always somebody out there that wants to do this in the Philippines, because it's good money for them and it's easier. They don't have, I've looked at pictures of their traffic and videos of their traffic. I would be working online too. Like, it's wild out there.
Cool, man. Well, it looks like we got about 141 people watching live right now.
Awesome.
So I want everyone to do me a big favor right now. Two things, okay? Because we're going to drop so much free freaking value on you guys. Your head is going to explode. So number one, be sure to hit that like button. We got 142 people watching live and only 28 likes. Tom, I'm no accountant or mathematician, but things just aren't adding up there. So smash that like button. And number two, even more importantly, guys, if you don't know, Tom has a YouTube channel where he offers a lot of free information. So I put the link down below. It's the first link below. Follow Tom Cormier on YouTube. Just click that link and subscribe to his channel, because he puts out a lot of freaking really awesome videos. Plus, he has a free Facebook group and everything where he's helping people for free and just adding a lot of value. So be sure to check him out. And yeah, without further ado, it looks like everyone's smashing the like button. You want to share?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a $10 real quick. We got a $10 super chat saying, from Yo Yost, who has a YouTube channel. So subscribe to him. Looking forward to the dropshipping info. I'd like to leverage as much as possible to do the 20% while the other stuff is being handled. Just started at Amazon FBA to get my feet wet. Free value, baby. Thank you.
Thank you, Yo. That's
There we
awesome.
go,
so thanks, I'm going to try to give you as much value as possible right here. So I'm going to share my screen and you guys can see my screen. Can you see it right now, Steve?
Yep, it looks good. I could see everything, and I'm watching the comments for you as well. So if anyone wants to ask questions, I'll do my best to throw him some questions while we're watching if there's any sticking points.
All right. So as the title of this video says, easily sourcing hot items for eBay dropshipping, that I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you guys. So I found out that I've realized through all the people that I've talked to, coach, seen in my free Facebook group and everything, that the number one sticking point is that they get nervous, or they can't figure out what items to sell and what items not to sell. And they get really just caught up in what they should sell, what they shouldn't sell. Is this a good item to sell? Everything like that. And I try to make it as simple and black and white as possible for you guys, so that you really just don't have to worry about what items need to be sold, and you can follow these guidelines. So all I do is I always start off on Amazon. This is me doing Amazon to eBay. It's what the bulk majority of my business model is. I'd say about 85 to 90% of my items are from Amazon, and then the rest are from Walmart. And you can actually do this from Walmart, the same exact thing that I'm teaching right now. And I have some videos on my YouTube channel about it as well. So all I really do is you're just going to look up an item on Amazon. It doesn't matter what this item is. It doesn't matter if you think this is a good item or a bad item. The moral of this story right here is that almost every single item from Amazon is actually being drop shipped on eBay. And a lot of people don't change the titles of these items, so you can easily find them on eBay, and then you're going to find people. So I don't know if you guys know or how much you all know about drop shipping, but the model that this is that I'm showing you guys here is called sniping items. So we're going to use these programs to find other sellers on eBay that are doing the same thing that we want to do. We're going to be able to use these programs to see what their items are, how well these items are selling, and how many times they've sold in the past month. 30 days, 7 days, whatever you want to break it down by. And then you are literally just going to steal their items. And that's basically the name of the game here. So without further ado, I will get started on this. So it's seasonal right now. It's Thanksgiving time. So I did a little bit of pre-research as well to find something pretty decent, just for the ease of this. And we're just going to type in turkey fryers. I've actually been selling a lot of turkey fryers. A lot of them come from Walmart, but it doesn't truly matter that much. So when you type in turkey fryer, basically the first 3 listings are going to be sponsored, and I don't like to mess with sponsored listings just because of the fact that they're getting pushed there artificially just based off the amount of money that they're paying. So I'm going to look at this turkey fryer right here, and all you have to do is just click on it. It doesn't matter if it's good. Like I said, I haven't put any thought into this item at all. It's just the fact that it's a turkey fryer and it's the seasonal time. So all you really have to do is click on it. Now you're just going to copy the title. And from there, you're going to utilize just the fact that people are too lazy to change the title. So Amazon is a game of not changing the title and hopping onto listings like a lot of people do. But eBay is a game of optimizing your titles, optimizing your pictures and stuff like that, where Amazon doesn't really play that game as much. So you can utilize that to your advantage of just taking that title, putting it into eBay, and seeing who's selling it. So you can tell just by the pictures, if we look at it right here, you got this little coat hanger looking thing, the turkey rack, the propane stand, the little steamer baskets, and the actual the turkey fryer itself. So you can tell that this is the same item. This is the same item. This is the same item. This is the same item, but they just optimize the pictures. Like I said, this one is, everybody's selling the same item here. Like I was saying, this person rotated the image, but this person put a watermark, but all these people are doing the same thing that we're attempting to do here. So, and it doesn't matter if this item's good, because we're going to use Zik Analytics to find good items based off this item. So all I do is I hold down the control button when I see, a good length of people that are selling the same item as me. And I just control and I click on all of these, which will open up a new tab on every single person's name. And I'll just do the first 4. Hopefully the computer doesn't freeze too much or lag too much. So at this point, we really don't need Amazon anymore, but I'll leave it open just in case. So from here, you're clicking on this person's item. I really hope that I'm not, you guys aren't this person, because I would feel bad. But all we're going to do is, this is their listing. They have a price. They're selling it for $115 on Amazon. It's $102. They might be making money, but it also says that we could find this here for a different price, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to take this person's name. We know that this person's drop shipping it. You can tell just based off the fact that they're the same stock images. It's more than what it costs on Amazon. And they basically have a very generic listing. And if you wanted to look back and forth at the item description, it's going to be verbatim the same exact thing. Fry up to 20-pound turkey. They may have taken some of this out or changed it or gotten it from a different listing, but I can guarantee you this person is drop shipping it from some supplier. So all you have to do is take their name, and this is where Zik Analytics comes into play, and this is why this is such a powerful program. So Zik Analytics, you can do all of this by hand. I suggest Zik Analytics because it's only $25 a month, I think, and it's extremely, extremely, extremely helpful. Like, I still use this program to this day. It's the basis of what my entire business plan is based off of. So all you have to do is, once you get into Zik, you'll set up your account. There's a 7-day free trial as well, so you don't have to worry about paying right away. You can try this out, try this method, see if this works for you, if this is something that you could get behind. And then if it is, then, then invest in yourself. It's $25 a month, and I am a big proponent of investing in yourself. So you're going to go over to the side here, and you're just going to click competitor research. There's all these other buttons, and there's actually videos from the Zik Analytics team teaching you how to use Zik Analytics. And I think that their videos are too in-depth and really don't get down to just the nitty-gritty of how to do this. So we've already, in about 2 steps, found a seller that could potentially be good. Like, they have 5,000 feedback. They have to be doing at least something right. So we're going to go into competitor research, and this is where you can literally just look up people's names. It's going to show you their best items and how many times these items have sold in a time frame. You get to pick the time frame. So I picked 30 days. You can pick 21, 14, 17. I prefer 30 days. So you're going to click search. Let it load. It loads pretty fast. So there's going to be a breakdown of this seller right here. He has 10,659 active listings, which sounds daunting, but with some of the programs out there and some of the ones that I use, it's extremely easy to do. Out of those listings, he sold 3,500. Out of those 3,500 sales, they came from 1753 successful listings. So that's about 10%, a little bit higher than 10%, almost, I'd say about 15% of his listings sell. That's pretty good. It doesn't really matter what the percentage is. Some people say it does, but I don't believe it does. Average price is going to be $19.65 for his items. It's just, some good things. And I'm actually already watching him. So I didn't even realize this. So there is a button right here where you can click watching, and I have my virtual assistants do this, and you can add him to a watch list where you can come back to him later, add a few notes about who he is and, what he does. And the kicker here is this person sells $70,370 $97 in the last 30 days. So if you say, hey, for easy math, that's 10% profit. He made $7,000 in the last 30 days. So he's a pretty good seller in general. So you're going to look at this. These are all of his items, or not all of his items, but all of his successful items that are doing well. So like I said earlier, you want to sell what's selling. You don't want to sell kitty litter because you think that that's something good and people might want to buy it. If you see that this dude sold a lot of kitty litter, then yes, list that item. But if you see that he's listing CeraVe moisturizing cream, whatever that really is or whatever that does for you, then list those items as well. So from here, you're going to look at, I'm going to give you a few guidelines to follow or that I follow. And this is for beginners. When you get more intermediate and advanced into it, you can start coming up with your own guidelines. So you can click on these and change these up. You can see the minimum. You can put a filter in for the minimum amount of sales to the maximum amount of sales. I'm going to put in the minimum amount of sales as 10 sales in the last 30 days. I don't care about the price. I don't care about the current price, last price, total sales. I just care about the amount of sales in the last 30 days. That means that those items are hot. They've sold recently, and there's a high chance of you when you're listing it to sell it. So you're going to look through this list. Right now, there's all these items. This one sold 39 times in the last 30 days, 37, 27, 26. You're going to go all the way down. He has effectively 36 items. So this is where, some people get into, is this an item I should list? Is this an item I shouldn't list? And without getting into too much specifics, I would list all 36 of these items. I'm not going to go into how I list them or what programs I use to list them. I'm just going to say that these are 36 items that I would list. I would personally list these items. And you might say, hey, there's already people on these items. Why would you do that? And it doesn't matter. A lot of these items out there on eBay and Amazon have a ton of competitors. And it's all about just trying to be better than the competitors or diversifying yourself in some way, shape, or form. Like this item right here, this is clearly the title from Amazon, straight up. And like I said earlier, eBay is a game about optimizing your titles and optimizing your listing, whether it be the description, the specifics, the item picture, stuff like that. This guy didn't even optimize the title at all. So you could go in there and say, hey, there's programs out there that help you optimize titles. So Zik Analytics actually does help you do that as well a little bit. So you can go through and say, hey, this guy hasn't optimized this title. How am I going to change this? You can add up to 80 characters in an eBay title. So you can add all these other words on there. Whatever the programs tell you. This is an air oil. I don't even really know what that is. It's spray oil or something. This is body wash. I mean, you can get rid of the name brand or get rid of the pack of 3 or however many fluid ounces. You can change things around and make them more optimized for you. But like I said, this item has sold 13 times in the past 30 days, and it hasn't even been optimized. So if you optimize these items, then there's a good chance that you are going to make these sales. And these sales, like I'm going to tell you right now, these sales are not going to be the highest amount of profit possible. There are suppliers out there that will get you higher profit margins, but these are going to be the easiest possible sales to find and to get. So that's just one guy. We've literally looked up one person and we've found 36 potential sales or 36 potential items to list. So before I move on, I'm going to look at, has there been any questions, Steve, or any overarching questions so far?
Yeah, people were just asking about what the program was, and I've been, I've been sharing it with people at ZickAnalytics.com.
Yep.
That's it. Someone was asking, can you sell toys with this?
Yeah, you can sell anything that is really allowed by eBay. So eBay has this thing called the VERO system, and basically VERO is verified rights owner. And if it's in the VERO listing, then you should not list it, and eBay might get you in trouble for listing it. You're most likely not going to get banned right away, but if you get hit with a lot of these VEROs, then you could possibly get banned. So this little exclamation point right here actually means that it could potentially be VERO. So, but the fact that this person sold 39 of them in the past 30 days and 79 total, and this listing was uploaded in June 23rd, 2018. I mean, there's a good chance that you might not get caught with it. You know what I mean? But I tend to err on the side of caution, but not when I'm just doing an overarching explanation of what's going on. So
we've got one more question, if you don't mind me interrupting you.
Yeah.
Paul DeLeo, and Paul's been dropping some comments in there, so good to see you, Paul, says, isn't eBay's new buy box going to eliminate the strategy of optimizing eBay listings?
So from what I've read in general is that the eBay's new buy box is actually only going to put them under like a specific UPC, but I'm pretty positive that your title is still going to be optimizable. I don't know if the picture is going to be optimizable, where you could make like a collage of the photos, like the first 3 pictures all like put together on one picture. But also there is ways where you can make your own listings and then put your own UPCs in there, which is a pretty advanced topic, but that would be something I would cover later on. But also they've been talking about this buy box thing and that it was supposed to be implemented literally back in August. And here we are with it barely just getting started in November. And they said that they rolled it out across like very, very, very unspecific categories and that you don't have to commit to it until February 2019. So there's still a lot of time to be had. And I don't think that that's anything to really worry about. If, you know, there's really nothing, if you're worrying about things that are in the future like that, you know, you're psyching yourself out, I would say. But there is probably going to be some effect. But I'm not positive. I haven't made a workaround for that at the moment.
Awesome.
So basically from here, so we found one good seller right off the bat. Not everybody that you find is going to have such high ranking right off the bat and have such a good, pretty decent account and overall very healthy account. But so we did open up 4 different people. So this is the first one, Quantan Blair. So we'll get rid of him. We'll move on to the next one. As you can tell, Rut Galaxy has a lot less feedback and might not be good. So I would add Quantan Blair to the watch list just because he's good in general. And I would move on and look at someone else. So I would paste in the new name, click search. And it says this seller has no sales for the selected time period. So this person is not making any sales. They're not good. I wouldn't give them the time of day. So I would just exit out, go on to the next person. There's enough people out there. This person's very small store, but you know, sometimes these small stores could have something semi-promising. It could be something as along the lines of somebody just starting a new store, like an experienced seller. I think something's messing up right now. Let me click on competitor research again. All right, so it was messing up. That last person possibly could have had sales. But so this person has made almost no sales. I don't know when they started their account, but you can tell they started it recently where they listed items. This is the date that they listed these items, and it was all in October, some in November. But one thing I did realize is I checked this item out, and I checked this person out earlier. If we click on this item, so you can click on the items, and it's going to bring you to the eBay listing. If you click on this item, this person's selling this item at $44. And you can check right here when you click 6 sold, how many, what price he sold it at. So he sold this item at $46.62. And one thing I want to say is that he didn't optimize this at all. He literally did the same exact listing from title from Amazon. And one thing I like to do to check these items on Amazon is I highlight the title and I right click and I click search. And then when you find it on Amazon, you'll realize that he picked the standard packaging for this. There's no difference. What? All right, it's not letting me click it. But this item was for $30 and he sold it for $44. So that's actually a pretty decent profit. I'm pretty sure that's higher than 10%. And especially if you're working cash back and stuff on the back end. So some of these little stores out there, like you might not think that they're worth looking into, but he's pulling a pretty decent profit. Say that's like maybe $5 taken out for fees or $6 even taken out for fees. That's like an $8 profit. So he's making like a 20% profit on this item. So these little stores, whether they are good or not, they do show you that, and he sold 5 of these at a pretty high profit percentage. So you do realize that you might as well look at everybody and don't think that you're too good to look at some of these small stores, because some of these small stores do surprise you with just some of these profits that they pull. So he was the third person, and then we can just move on to the fourth person here. This is a pretty good account as well. Like I said, I hope it's nobody that sees this. I actually did get called out for looking somebody up on Zik Analytics, and them telling me on my YouTube video that to stop showing their account on my YouTube channel. So I am always cautious and aware of that now. So this person, let's look at this. This person has 32,600 active listings. That's more than I have on all three of my accounts combined. That's a ton of items. And they only have sold 898 items. And out of those 898, only 683 are successful. That is a pretty terrible.
So they're probably not optimizing anything. They're probably just copying and pasting.
What I would say their biggest issue is that they probably have a very high profit percentage where it's pricing them out of a lot of their items. That's what I would say the biggest issue probably is. But they do have almost 30,000 in sales for the last 30 days. So I would, give them the benefit of doubt and look at their store. So they sold this item 16 times in the past 30 days. And like I said, for newbies and beginners, I always suggest 10 times in the last 30 days. But like I said, rules are meant to be broken. Why not look at this one? It's 9 times in the last 30 days. You can look at it. Click on it right here. This one sold 16 times. And this one's actually out of stock at the moment. So his number one item's out of stock. So this store is it's not doing as hot. So we'll click on this squatty potty thing, whatever this is. So like I said, we'll just highlight, and he added new and free 2-day shipping. So we'll just highlight what looks like to be the title that would be on Amazon, and then just search. And oh, here we go. We found it in 2 seconds. So it goes for $24.99 here. He's selling it for $30. So it's actually a semi-low profit margin. So if his profit margins are, very low and he's still pretty bad, then he's obviously not sourcing items that have been selling properly. He might just be like bulk listing items from Amazon without using programs like Zik Analytics or something like that. But he is making money off this item and has sold 9 times in the last 30 days. That's a judgment call on you if you want to sell it. But so say now we've already gone through the basics of how to do all this, and it's literally just repetition at this point. So we can get rid of this turkey fryer. We can get rid of literally the page where they're looking up where we got these people from the turkey fryer. Say we ran out of everybody from this turkey fryer in general, and we looked at this person. This is the last person from looking up, and we're like, oh, now we need to go back onto Amazon and look at more things. But we really don't. We found this item on eBay. We just found it on Amazon. Why not just take the Amazon title and then paste it back into eBay? It's a different item. You're going to find different sellers of it. And here we are again in a whole treasure trove of brand new people that are optimizing their pictures. They're optimizing their titles. They're doing other things. There's different techniques here. And now we're in a whole nother treasure trove of people that could be doing well. I'm waiting for the one time also where I look up these items and I find my own store and I just roll with it. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that to happen as well. So this person, awful store, 57% feedback. I don't even know how you do that. That you have to try to have positive feedback that bad. But they did sell one of these. I'm not going to look up their store though. And then this one, small store, but we could look it up. I mean, I would like to find one more big store and just see. So like I said,
I like the picture with the green going around the perimeter. That definitely stands out.
Yeah. So I actually started looking into things like this, and supposedly these, like where it says fast and free, that blue thing, and then I think that probably says like free shipping or whatever. No, it says made in the USA. I think you're not allowed to do that, but I called up eBay and they said you're not, but I'm still experimenting with it. I'm not too worried about it. And this could have been, this is the person that we looked at originally. So we could look at this person as well. So this like I said, you might not find every item. You might not find a really good seller on that item. Like we haven't found anybody. This person's probably the best right here, even though they have a pretty awful feedback rating as well. But they do have a decent amount of feedback in general, so they could have more sales. So yeah, 10,000 active listings and 82 items sold. This person's pretty bad, but we found this item. It sold 7 times last 30 days, and these look like personal items, to be honest. But So it's just a repetitive process of just going through things like this. We could look up this person now. It seems like this potty thing really has some pretty awful sellers on the list. I might hop in on it. And you might see somebody from another country. And it's just it really doesn't matter where they're from because they're all drop shipping on eBay US. So people from other countries do have some higher profit margins. So if they are selling well and they're from other countries, then they are probably doing something pretty good because they can't get US credit cards with the cash back and stuff like that. And they can't utilize all the things that people in the United States can get and take for granted. So it might be worth looking into stores like that. You can just look up oh, I clicked on the wrong button. So if we hold control click, we'll look at a few more. These might be different sizes and stuff too. That's why these prices are all over the place.
What we're really doing right now is we're trying to find sellers who are successful. So then we can go into their store and then
steal their items.
Steal and then not just steal, copy, paste, but even optimize them and take them to the next level.
Yeah. So I mean, that's optimization's a whole nother live, and I would love to teach that as well at some point in time. But it's a lot to get into. So this person is a great store that we just found. They have how many feedback do they have? 115,000.
Holy mackerel! U.S. seller?
Yeah, U.S. seller. I'm adding them to my watch list. So this is
47%.
What was it? Oh, their sell through. They have a lot. They have low items, and they work on optimizing their titles and their images and their listings and having really good listings. Great seller. I'm benefiting off this as I go.
We just found a really good seller, man, live. It's exciting.
They might not be utilizing as much Amazon and stuff, but let's click on this. They sold 72 of these. Let's click on this. Also, the fact that there's this little green dot right here, you could click it, and sometimes it actually does have the same exact item. This isn't the same item; it's a different color. It only works for Amazon items. But I'm gonna exit out of some of these just so I don't freeze my computer. But so, like I said, highlight that, search, and they're doing dropshipping from Costco. So this actually is where they're getting. See, $29.99. They have it for higher than that. I think there's ways on Costco to get like 5% back and stuff like that. I think if you're a Costco member or something. So like we found a good seller that's using a supplier that's not Amazon. And like I said, there's a lot of suppliers out there. Costco might have some things to it that I don't really know because I haven't used Costco. So, it's just interesting to see people like this because you can tell that a lot of these items are food related, and the Kirkland brand is a Costco specific brand. So they are definitely doing only Costco. So it's pretty, it's
all Costco.
It's very interesting because you'll come across stores like this where it's just people that are like these silent assassins. You know what I mean? Like you've never heard of them before. You've never come across them or anything like that. And they're like killing this one supplier that like nobody really uses. Like Costco, I know some people do use, but it's really not the most popular. I can tell you that. And it's just cool to come across and see like the people that you don't see these people in the Facebook groups, or you might see them in the Facebook groups and they don't really talk at all or anything like that.
Let me ask you a question because I know that you do most of your drop shipping through Amazon, correct?
Yeah.
Are you using Amazon Prime?
Yeah, so that is one of the biggest questions. So I think I'm all set with finding people and stuff like that. So I think we can just go into questions and explanations and stuff. And a lot of people say, oh, you can't use Amazon Prime. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to use Amazon Prime. So yes, if there are ways to get around it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen actually. So there are ways to get around it. I've seen some people where they use Amazon Prime and they sell like 2 or 3 items, or they ship to different addresses or 2 or 3 items, and somehow their account gets banned. It's a fluke. I've seen it happen like twice out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So it's nothing to stop you. But I've had Amazon Prime accounts where I've done 30,000 orders in 6 months, and I haven't gotten banned on it. So I mean, it's really a matter of whether, and if you get banned on these accounts, then just make a new account. Like, you only pay monthly for Amazon Prime. So if you're paying like $7 monthly for Amazon Prime, you get banned, then you just start a new Prime account. I have right now 2 Amazon Prime accounts and 2 business Prime accounts.
my question is because, I sell on Amazon and, there's people out there who are doing private label and they've got their Amazon seller account. The question is if your Prime gets taken out, are they going to wipe out everything on your IP?
So that is interesting because I have an Amazon seller account and I've gotten taken out twice in general, and I've gotten the account back and stuff like that, but nothing has happened. But they could potentially, it could
Could
happen. That's why I suggest keep.
your seller account though.
I'm not sure, but just to be safe, I always say keep everything completely separate in general. Like at least, I mean, not IP wise, because that's pretty hard to do, but at least if you're going to be drop shipping from that Amazon account, make sure that that Amazon account isn't connected to your seller account as well.
Use a different email address.
That email, yeah.
Got it. Great tip. Cool. Awesome, man. Awesome.
And Paul asked, why do you pay the big bucks for Prime Business? And I don't. There's a secret, and you don't have to pay actually anything extra. You can just connect your regular Amazon Prime and share the Prime to your business account. It doesn't cost any extra money.
Business account do? Because I always see business buyers. I never knew what that was.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool. The business account is something that I rarely talk about, and it actually. So this is something for all you guys watching that I haven't even put out on my YouTube channel yet. What it does is you sign up. You don't even need an LLC or whatever. You can do it with like a sole proprietorship, but I don't want to get into tax stuff or business stuff. That's not my my realm at the moment. But you can sign up for a business account and you are buying you say you're a reseller and everything. That's the one thing that blows my mind is people think that you're going to get banned on Amazon for all this stuff, but you can sign up on Amazon Business for an Amazon business account as a reseller account. So they're pretty much putting the field out there for you. They're making it open. And what you do get is you can get either quantity discounts. So say you buy like 10 or whatever, or 5, then you'll get a discount, a lower price, or you'll get just these random business prices. So the prices are just lower on random items at just random amounts. Sometimes they're the same price and they say it's a business price. I've seen as low as 5 cents difference, like lower, but I've seen as high as like $10 difference on a business price.
Very cool. So pretty much what we showcased during this show was how to find items that are selling on eBay that you can drop ship. So we used Zik Analytics to research other sellers to find out how successful they are, and then going in and pretty much stealing, optimizing, copying and pasting the successful items. So what would the next steps be? And if first of all, I want to know if people enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments. And if you'd like me to bring Tom on for maybe a couple more series of videos, because we could probably do 4 or 5 more videos easily because we're only like tickling the surface right now. So let us know if you want Tom to come back on. But what would the next steps be after, they went through the Zik Analytics, like just kind of like a 30,000 foot overview?
So basically after that, you're going to take those items. You can find them again on Amazon the way that I was teaching it by just searching, right? Just copying and pasting the title or some part of the description or whatever, search it in Google, find it on Amazon. From there, all you have to do is take the Amazon URL and paste it into whatever your repricing and listing tool is. So like you say, DSM tool, you can just take the URL of that of Amazon, go into DSM tool, post the URL in there, and it's going to literally take all the specifics, all the description from Amazon, all the pictures, put it onto eBay. But it also gives you the option to edit things as well. So you can then edit the title, like I was saying, edit the pictures, like I was saying, edit the description, the item specifics in some way, shape, or form to differentiate yourself. You can also pick your profit margins from there and everything like that. That's a whole nother realm of things to get into. But that's basically it. The next step would be, well, I would say you want to stay organized. So put it into a spreadsheet, an organized spreadsheet, a nice Google Doc or Google Sheet, and then have your VAs on there, or you work out of that. That's how you can track things. Make sure you're not listing duplicate items or sourcing duplicate items, things like that. But all you have to do is just list it onto eBay from there, and hopefully your tool is going to take care of it. Reprice it properly as long as you have everything set up properly.
Cool. Very, very cool. Joe Good is asking, I have an eBay account where I sell stuff. I'm assuming from thrift stores and garage sales, but do you suggest making another seller store for drop shipping? So would you separate them out, Tom?
Yeah, I actually have a pretty funny story about that. So when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. And I listed, it was some drop shipping items. I don't even know what it was. I think it was like a blender or something. And I connected a repricing tool to it. So also say you have like only one item of that blender in stock and it sells. that repricing tool will also relist it back at a quantity of 1 as long as it's still in stock. So it'll keep listing it back on so that you can keep making sales for it. So I had that on there. I didn't realize that it would do it for other items as well. And I was flipping cell phones like I explained at the beginning of this live. And I was in traffic driving home from work, and it was like Boston traffic. It was awful. And I'm sitting there and I sold the cell phone earlier in the day. And I didn't realize that the relister, repricer, everything relisted that cell phone back on. And then I don't have multiple of that cell phone. And it literally sold twice while I was in traffic. It sold again, got relisted, and then sold again. And I was sitting there just freaking out. I was like, oh my God. So I highly suggest having a separate account. And it doesn't, you can have the account connected to the same PayPal, same credentials, same everything. You just have to use a different email. And PayPal, I have 5 eBay accounts at the moment. So
awesome. Big shout out to Carlos Perez dropping a $2 super chat. Thank you so much,
Carlos.
Appreciate that. Just looking to see if there's any more questions. Well, Rosemarie was saying Costco is good for low cost items to sell on eBay. I sell in Canada. Very cool.
Oh, that's cool. I've been looking into getting into some other, another country, just a whole different marketplace.
Awesome. So I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to leave off with. It looks like that's pretty much most of the questions. And I think we pretty much accomplished the goal today, which was to share with people how to use Zik Analytics to find profitable products and sellers that then they could, replicate, model, and optimize. Any other advice you want to give or anything else you want to leave the folks off with?
Yeah, I mean, just some final advice I like to say is it is definitely a daunting task to undertake eBay dropshipping. Like eBay is always looked at as something where, hey, I have this in my garage or whatever. I'm going to go list it onto eBay and sell it. And that's not like a scary experience as much, I would say. Like that's a lot. Most people would undertake that challenge. But the whole drop shipping thing where you don't physically have the product and you have these programs running it, and it's do your research. And then once you do your research and you feel comfortable with these programs and everything, just take the leap of faith, because you're never going to fully feel ready to take this leap of faith, because it is a different realm of, just something you're not used to. And that's how I felt at first. And I even spun my tires around for a while with Amazon dropshipping, because I was like, oh, I'm really good at eBay dropshipping. Like, why would I get into Amazon? But I would say just always make sure that you're believing in yourself and just stay as educated as possible. And as long as you put your mind behind it and you give it an effort, then you should be fairly successful. And from there, it's all up to you and putting the time in, because the time is, you need to learn it. So that's what I would suggest. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I try to make item sourcing as easy and as simple as possible. And, where a lot of people would be looking at these items and be like, oh, should I list it? Should I not list it? And like, if it's 10 or more in the last 30 days, just throw it up there. And like that's it. It's as simple as that. It takes all the thinking out of it. It makes it a numbers-based decision. And then, you don't have to have any emotion behind it, because the emotion is what gets people iffy and on the fence about things.
Cool, man. It seems like people really like this show. And, we had over 140 upwards to 160, 170 people watching live. So I know there's probably a couple questions that we weren't able to answer. We're going to stay true to our time at about an hour. But dude, let's come back on for another show, man. Let's do maybe like a series of like 3 or 4 more videos, and we could really dive into things, because I know right now people are probably excited, but they probably got a ton of question marks. Like, what's the next step?
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely down for that. I'm excited, and I would love to come back on, show, what lister I use, what repricer I use, how I would take an item from Zik and put it on there, and just, just the basics, and just covering the small steps that people have the questions on.
Cool, Tom. Well, I'll hit you up behind the scenes and we'll put together a game plan, and we'll kind of break down the roadmap, and then we'll come to you guys with some videos. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel to be updated. Also, be sure to check out Tom's YouTube channel. It is the first link in the description. Tom Cormier on YouTube.
Ecom Tom on YouTube. It's Ecom Tom.
Okay,
but
cool. Tom on YouTube. But yeah, that link will bring you right there. So subscribe to him. He's got a ton more videos on his channel as well. But Tom, thank you so much for coming on, brother. Really looking forward to building a relationship with you and shooting some more videos.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was it's a surreal experience that there was 170 people on watching this
in the afternoon, man. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
How many engineers are freaking
are you guys sitting at your desk at your 9 to 5 and paying attention to this? Well,
know. Let us know right now. Is anybody at work right now watching this? Because that would actually be pretty funny. I want to see.
Hey, I would appreciate it. I think that that's what you should do. But
That's cool, man. Well, be sure to leave a comment, guys. Tom, I'll let you run, brother. But thanks again for coming on, man. Appreciate your time and all the knowledge. And we'll be definitely note to you says listen during my lunch break. Well, Carlos is at work. Al Duck is saying work question mark.
That's pretty funny.
Man, dude. Oh man, you guys better be careful, okay?
As long as you have a boss like Sue, you're fine.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on. Thanks
All
everyone
right,
for
thanks a lot, guys.
All right, see you, man.
See ya.